So let me start to do a little bit recapitulation. Please off the mic. Okay, how? So in a way of Buddhahood, we are about to finish lah. Okay, so just to remind, by go through the condensed. Okay, so the stage one is explaining the difference in the types of people who undertake this path. Okay, so there's the section one is the essential core to practicing the path of the three vehicle. All right. Then from here, we go to the stage two is explaining the elements that make up this path. The elements means what? Is the Four Noble Truths and the law of the dependent origination. Second, we talk about the mandate and supra-mandate of the Four Noble Truths. All right. Then we go to the stage three. Stage three is defining the noble path of the path, noble truth of the path to cessation as embodied by the three training and noble eightfold path. It's about the three training, you see, the advanced training of a morality, mind, and wisdom, and noble eightfold path. Stage four is about the 37 bhujangas. We have finished. Now we are actually in the stage five, explanation that practitioner of the three vehicle all gains the same sense of nirvana. All right. Then there's still got, sorry, actually we're in the stage six. Overview of the three phases leading to the attaining goal of the attainment of the goal, which is the Sravaka path. Besides Sravaka path, there's one more is the Pachaka Buddha path. So we are about to finish this. So let's take a look. We are see where are we. So in the previous lesson, okay, it's about the fourth fruits arahantship. We are talking about the arahant already. So arahant is the potential power of the noble way will certainly grow and one will advance again. In this practice or further practice, whether one is walking, standing, sitting, lying down, dressing, eating, talking, remaining silent, being slender or praised, gaining or loss, growing old, getting sick, or dealing with people and affair. Meaning to share for Arhan, he is always mindful all the time. So here there is there for Arhan, they might eliminate in the two realms of the form and formlessness. Okay, we call it as a five outward moving bond or five upper feathers. All right, they have completely removed it. All right. Then finally, see how no new karma is correct. The bitter fruit of future rebirth and death will not be provided with any causal condition, right? Then the previous aggregates are extinct and the later aggregates arise no more. So they will enter to the nirvana without any residue, right? So now we come to the verse number 110. Okay. So Elena, please read it out.
110. They may be liberated by their wisdom or be liberated completely, having the 6 supernatural powers and 3 insights. The arahats are the super fields of good fortune in the world. In the sutras, the arahats are said to be of 6 or 9 types. Here, they will be described according to 2 broad categories, as emancipated by wisdom or as completely liberated, that is, emancipated by both concentration and wisdom. One should know that both concentration and wisdom are hindered by afflictions. Thus, if emancipation arises, it is because one has been liberated from this obstruction. As the sutras often say, those without desires are liberated by their mind, concentration. Those without ignorance are liberated through wisdom. This means that if one has the power of wisdom to realize the nature of things, obstructions such as ignorance are eliminated. And if one has quieting power of concentration, obstructions such as desire are eliminated. For example, worldly non-Buddhists are able to leave behind the afflictions of the desire realm and attain the first dhyana. They are able to leave behind the afflictions of the first dhyana and attain the second, third, and fourth dhyana. Is jhana, can pronounce as jhana, right?
This is a Sanskrit. Yeah. Pali is a jhana. Yeah, it's correct.
Jhana.
Okay.
When the afflictions of the realm of form become completely extinct, they are able to attain the state of infinite space of the formless realm and eventually leave behind the afflictions of the state of nothingness. And they are able to attain the state of neither perception nor non-perception. But they are able to leave the afflictions of the state of neither perceptions or non-perception. And thus they are unable to be free from birth and death.
Okay, thank you so much. Please off the mic. Okay, finish class. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I forget the terminology. Hey, Mr. Leon, remember what terminology I should type? Then the Theravada, Sarvastivada, Mahayana all will appear. What terminologies are? previously, usually what I used to type school, I mean something like school of Buddhism. There's one more terminology I used to type. Oh, on the mic, please. You haven't on the mic yet, Mr. Leong. Haven't on the mic yet.
I think maybe it's the various Buddhist traditions.
Oh, tradition, yes, tradition. Yeah. I got it. Tradition, Buddhism. Okay, let's see. Various tradition of Buddhism. Oh, I think let's see first. Okay. Never mind, I couldn't get it. Okay, a class. Basically, what I would like to emphasize to you all is now we talk about the Arahant Shi. Basically, there will be some difference between what you learn from Theravada now and the Sarvastivada. What we learn in the three vehicle are mainly from the sources of Sarvastivada. So, Mr. Leong and Mrs. Leong, okay, the place you used to go is Theravada. Both share a lot of similarities, but there's still some differences. So now here we talk about what are 6 type Arahana, 9 type Arahana. They are different. Because in Sarvastivada, there's one type of Arahan, they will commit suicide. Why? Because they worry for retrogress. But this type of Arahan is only available in Sarvastivada, but not in Theravada. Am I right? Mr. Leong, you never heard about in Theravada that the Arahant have to commit suicide. You never heard about that. Am I right?
Theravada cannot commit suicide because it's a grievous karma.
Yeah. So this is a difference. They got one type of Arahant in Sarvastivada because they avoid retrogress. Because they avoid whatever the Nibbana they attain will retrogress. So they commit suicide so that they always retain in Nirvana. So this is quite different thing. So I want to tell you. So because our school are different, they have their own development and have their own way. Okay, we have to recognize it. Okay, like class, take a look. So here we talk about that. Worldly non-Buddhist. Okay, sorry, not this. Let's talk about the Arahant. Okay, Arahant, they got 6 and 9 type Arahant. And from the text class, in Arahant, they got 2 type of Arahant. One type of Arahant is the Arahant. They attain the Arahant just through eradication of the ignorance only. Okay. This type of Arahant, they don't have a strong samatha power. They don't have all samadhi. They haven't attained all the samadhi. This type of Arahant, we call it of Arahant, which is attained through the wisdom only. So this is one type of Arahant. Second type of Arahant, they are possess all the samadhi power, all the jhana and the samadhi. So they are the one who attained the Arahant with the assistance of the power of the samadhi too. So that is the different class. So you have to know that. Okay, for the first type, okay, class, basically, first type is more common and popular propagated in Theravada tradition. The reason is they notice that it is quite hard for people to attain to the eighth jhana. Very tough. Eighth samadhi or fourth jhana is very tough. But if let's say you just request people to attain a very shallow like upachara samadhi. From upachara samadhi, then you further to the vipassana. It seems more practical and also more attainable and easy for most of the people, especially in urban area. So class, you get it? So sometimes you see, I think they are wise also. If let's say you try to advocate something so difficult, which is quite hard to attain, you don't have market. So if no market need you, finally the market will kick you out. So that's the reason why basically forest monk are the one who can really attain to the eighth samadhi, then they proceed to the nibbana. Urban people, I don't think so lah. Okay. Okay, so from here, we understand, you see, emancipated by wisdom or completely liberated. So class, completely liberated is with the assistance of the jhana. So the wisdom is by the wisdom only, you see. So for those who are completely liberated, they might be helped. They are liberated from the instruction of all the obstruction, the 5 hindrances, okay. Those without ignorance are liberated through wisdom. This is the Arahant without assistance of the first to fourth jhana. Okay. Class, can you look for me the reference number 58? This is very famous. This issue, in Buddhism. Can you check for me, anyone? Footnote 58.
SA 26.
SA 26, correct. Okay, Samyutta Agama. Okay, class, I don't know whether Mr. Leong familiar this sutta or not. Because most of the sutta, they encourage you to attain to the fourth jhana at least and proceed to the vipassana. But this sutra, they say, not necessary. As long as with the upachara samadhi, you can attain the nibbana. The nibbana state itself is equivalent to the first jhana. Mr. Leong, have you ever heard about this? Is this common in Theravada, this sutra? On the mic, please.
Yes, correct.
Common also. Okay, I think maybe this sutra is prevalent, so it makes. It received a good response from the market because not that easy. So finally, they make it as a popular and as a truth. But basically, the liberated type arahana is more encourageable because with the fourth jhana, with the four jhana, you are more stable. And also with the fourth jhana and also with the fourth arupa jhana, you are able to attain the Nirodha Samadhi. Nirodha Samadhi is number 9, remember? Nirodha Samadhi means to say eradication, eradication of the feeling aggregate and also the feeling aggregate and the perception. That is the highest state, you know. But this samadhi is attainable only by third fruit arahant and the fourth fruit arahant. So the rest, you can't. Just only the sages are able to enjoy the Nirodha Samadhi. According to some commentary, if you got choice for arahant, just to have a rest. If you compare Nirodha Samadhi and the Nibbana, some prefer Nirodha Samadhi. You know why? Okay, the reason is, class, if let's say in order to attain to the Nibbana, if you rest in the Nibbana, you still need we call it as a Magga and Palajita. You still need the Magga and Palajita. Magga and Palajita consist of various of the Chittasika. So meaning to say it is something, there's still something there, you know. But for Nirodha Samadhi, it's totally nothing. It's totally tranquil, totally nothing. So for those, if you got psychic, if you can read people's mind, you read those who attain the Nirodha Samadhi, it seems they are rock or plant. No, totally, you can't feel any consciousness. Even the most subtle one, you are unable to detect it. So this is how profound it is. No people can read this type of arahant mind. Wonderful, class. So steady aim for it. See, one day can try to attain. Yes, Mr. Leong, any question, please?
Yes, is it in the state of perception or non-perception state?
Oh, no. This is higher than this. Mr. Leong, even higher than no perception, non-perception, it was better than this. Because of Nirodha Samadhi, only Arahant can attain only. Mr. Leong, if you attain this, no perception, non-perception, if I can read your mind, I still can see you. Because you still have a subtle conscious there. But Nirodha Samadhi, totally, you can't see anything.
It means in a state of emptiness.
Emptiness, no, it's in the Nirodha Samadhi. It is a Samadhi, we call it as a Nirodha Samadhi, totally without any feeling and also the perception, totally. Nirodha means the eradication for both of it. Maybe, Mr. Leong, you feel quite stranger, right? I mean,
because Nirodha Samadhi is a destruction of concentration.
No. Okay, let me begin and check for you, Okay, maybe a little bit confused, Mr. Leong. Okay, so let me try to clarify for you, no obstruction. Let's see, Nirodha Samapadi.
Oh, Samapati. Okay,
no.
okay.
Yeah, Samapati and Samadhi is the same one. Okay. Yes. Okay. Nirodha. Yeah.
Stay lah.
What lah?
No, nothing.
Nothing lah. Nirodha Samapati lah. So it's a Nirodha. Okay. So this is attainable only by third stage, the fourth stage Arahat only. Okay. So class, you can write down Nirodha Samapati. Nirodha Samapati. So I prefer use the wiki, not the Chinese, because one day class, maybe you have to talk. Since you are all English act people, you might encounter the English act people in Theravada mostly. You see, so in order to make you can communicate with them effectively, better we don't go to the Chinese Buddhist encyclopedia, or we better go to the Wikipedia, something like that.
See, for the meaning there also cessation of this perception.
Yeah. Cessation, perception, feeling, and consciousness. Yes. Okay. Here is the definition. Okay. Please write it down. Nirodha Samapadi. It's sometimes they call it as a night jhana too, class. I think if I ask Sally, you should aim for Nirodha Samadhi. Maybe Sally will say, wait the COVID-19 gone first. Am I right? The COVID-19, they don't gone. I don't have any mood to talk about this. Okay. So let me clarify one terminologies for Elena. Elena, jhana is the Pali. I think dhyana, the pronunciation will be correct. So please copy down the dhyana or say the jhana. Because the way of Buddha, the author of the translator of a way of Buddhahood, I think he is not exposed to the Theravada environment. I think so. From the way he used the terminology, he might be correct himself. They have to set up his own translation words, I think. Okay, so it said.
Sifu, because they translate from India the Sanskrit word, so that's why they keep the Sanskrit word in the Chinese translation.
No, actually, the author translate from the Chinese version. That's the key point. And Chinese version, but the Chinese version actually, of course, mostly you can trace back to the Sanskrit. You see. So that's why the English, I think they don't have any unification with in the usage of the English, especially in the Mahayana sect. I think so, because the Pali Text Society, they have already standardized the usage of the terminology within the Theravada. Am I right, Mr. Leong? Pali Text Society did it.
Yeah, because they already have the system, yeah, in place.
But for the Sanskrit tradition, I mean the Sanskrit tradition, also maybe this guy, he doesn't really a Sanskrit literated, maybe, but not a very formal one, and also the English. So it makes us also confused. I have to bring you back to the wiki so that you can communicate later. Then Elena talk something to the Theravada guy, they don't know what I'm talking about. All the terminology are different, you see. Okay, let's go further. Okay, here. Then, okay, for example, okay, now we talk about the worldly non-Buddhists are able to leave behind the affliction of the desire realm, and also even this is the highest. We call affliction of the state of nothingness, neither perception nor non-perception. But they haven't, what you see, they haven't lived the affliction yet. Okay. So now we further. Okay, please, Sally.
In Buddhist disciples' practice, which is directed towards realization, there is a liberation through both concentration and wisdom. One both awakens thoughtless wisdom and cuts through the confusions of understanding by relying upon the peripheral concentration or the seven dependable concentrations. All things considered, there are great differences, however. Those who have practiced and become arahats by relying on the power of wisdom that completely severes the foundational roots of ignorance, eradicating all afflictions arising from false perception itself, are all the same. But those who attain emancipation by relying on the power of concentration differ. If one follows the peripheral concentration for the first dhyana to attain arahantship, then one will not be liberated from the obstructions beyond the first and second dhyanas. If one attains the fourth dhyanas and the eight concentrations, one still cannot completely be liberated from the obstructions to concentration.
Okay, thank you. Never mind, we stop. Okay, class, let's take a look. We have to go through the peripheral concentration. I think the peripheral concentration actually mean the upachara samadhi. Upachara samadhi. Yeah, three type of concentration. Upachara samadhi means the excess concentration, plus please jot down, peripheral concentration is equivalent to the excess concentration of upachara samadhi. Okay. This is more common in Theravada tradition. Okay, what the author mentioned in this paragraph, meaning to say that, class, if let's say you attain the arahant, okay, through the excess concentration only, meaning to say that the obstruction from all the jhanas, you haven't gone through it yet. Because you don't really go through the jhana. So of course the obstruction is still there. That is the meaning. But for those arahant who attain the jhana, they attain the rupa jhana and arupa jhana, so they have a higher power to remove all the self, which will attach to all this, to the rupa and the arupa form. They are able to eradicate all this. So let's take a look. Yeah, this is the peripheral. Okay, 7 dependable concentration. Yeah. This is also the author creation, I think. Okay, what does it mean 7 dependable? Class 7 dependable meaning to say that first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. Okay, then there is, oh, I can't remember the English term. This is about the arupa jhana. Class, you better copy it down. This is quite important. Okay, the jhana and samadhi. Jhana or samadhi. Let me check for you. 7 independable mean totally got 7. Let me check it out. Arupa jhana, yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. Class 7 independent mean first, second, third, fourth. Then the fifth is the infinite space, infinite consciousness, and infinite nothingness. Please copy down this. The other 3 is from here. We call it as a 7 dependable meaning to say then you can attain nibbana by either one. By either one. But by 1 out of the 7 of the jhana. Okay. Please copy down. Neither perception nor non-perception is discouraged for vipassana. Infinite space, infinite consciousness, infinite nothingness. Yes. Seven dependable 4 plus 3 7 First, second, third, fourth jhana. Steady, get it? Steady? Not confused get it Okay. Okay, class. Basically, for the neither perception nor non-perception, why it is discourageable? The reason is the samadhi too strong. It's not easy to do the vipassana except Shariputta. Shariputta, according to the Visuddhimagga, is the only one are able to use the neither perception nor non-perception to do the vipassana. But for us, please, no need to worry. Because for us, maybe first jhana, we don't know when to attain. So no need worry to wrongly go to the neither perception, nor non-perception. Totally no need to worry. Because you want to attain that, you have to perform first, second, third, fourth until to there. You won't immediately jump there. You won't. So it means what? It means in the ancient Indian, you see, They got so many schools, not only Buddhism only, they have their own confidence and they have their own philosophy. Some might think that neither perception nor non-perception is the ultimate. Some may think the infinite, the infinite space. Some might think the infinite consciousness. Everybody have their own way. But what Shakyamuni do is, he is very smart because he go to learn all the method. Then he noticed that the best jhana, neither perception nor non-perception, still unable to lead for the nibbana. So finally, he go to recall his past life paramid and do the vipassana and attain to the samadhi. So this is the reason why in our text, we can see all this type of different jhana, in our text. Because Shakyamuni, he himself have gone through all this, See or not? So this is why we know all this. But we just do reading only lah. It's very hard to attain actually. Okay, yeah. So this is the thing. But anyway, don't worry. The method is still available in the market. So I'm quite it's still in the market. So I think maybe 3 of you, including Mr. Long, 4 of you can adding up with some the senior in the Chinese. In the Chinese version, I think there are quite a number of people have great potential to attain to the jhana and above. So so hopefully one day you can really. Yeah, Sally, don't be shy. Why are you shy? Okay, yes. Okay, let's go further. This is about the 7 dependence concentration. You see, we use samadhi or samabhati. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is here. All things considered, you see, there's those who have practiced and become arahant by relying on the power of wisdom. So they are the same. The way they eradicate the ignorance are the same. Okay, but for those who attain through the power of concentrations, are different. Why the different? Because if you follow the peripheral concentrations to attain, you will not liberated from obstruction by the first and second jhana. So I mentioned just now already, if one attain the 4th jhana and the 8th concentration, one still cannot completely be liberated from the obstruction to concentration because they need the vipassana. Okay, 4th jhana, 8th samadhi. Okay, do you know how to calculate 4th jhana, 8th samadhi? So 4th jhana, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th jhana. Okay, then 8th samadhi, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th jhana, infinite space, infinite consciousness, infinite nothingness, and neither perception nor not perception. So you know how to count? You have to know how to count. Meaning to say that samadhi is wider scope. The scope of samadhi is wider, is broader. Samadhi is able to cover the jhana, but the jhana cannot cover the samadhi. So you have to know the difference. Okay, we continue to see the next. Okay, maybe let Mr. Leong try to read. See, are you able to read or not? Arahant?
Arahats who can attain the state of complete extinction of sensation and thought, regardless of whether they do so through wisdom or concentration, have ultimate emancipation. When one attains concentration and wisdom completely free from obstacles, one is called a completely liberated arahant. If one realizes the truth with wisdom, but does not attain the state of complete extinction of sensation and thought, one is called an arahant liberated by wisdom. One can escape the bitter fruits of birth and death through relying on the wisdom that realizes the nature of things. It does not even matter that one's power of concentration is incomplete. Since the powers of concentration of all arahants are not of the same level, they can be divided into several groups. Completely liberated arahants, needless to say, can attain the virtues of the 6 supernatural power and the 3 insights. All arhats are liberated by wisdom who have achieved the four fundamental dhyanas can also develop these insights and power. The six supernatural powers are magical transformation, divine eye, divine ear, knowledge of the minds of the others, knowledge of previous existence, and the power to end faults. With the power of magical transformation, one can change into many different shapes, become invisible or visible as one pleases, and penetrate mountains, rivers, and stone walls. One can also travel underwater and underground, fly into the air, reach the moon and the sun, and so forth. With the power of the divine eye, one can see things that are coarse or refined, near or far, in light or darkness, external or internal. In particular, one can see the form of karma of sentient beings, whether they will be reborn in the heavens or on the evil destinies and the like. With the power of the divine ear, one can hear all kinds of sounds near and or far, understand different human languages, and even comprehend the sounds of the heavens, birds, and animals. With the knowledge of the other minds, one knows the thoughts of other sentient beings. With the knowledge about previous existence, one knows the previous lives of sentient beings, what kind of karma they have created, and the places from where they have come. With the power to end faults, one can know the circumstances that liberate beings from afflictions and recognize whether one's own afflictions are completely overcome.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, class, take a look. Here there's two terminologies. Let's take a look. Okay. You see, one is a completely liberated arahant. One is the arahant liberated by wisdom. Class, always remember if they say completely liberated, meaning to say that the arahant possess the jhana. If the arahant possess the jhana, meaning to say that he is able to develop all the supernatural power. That is one thing is very different. So if let's say the arahant liberated by wisdom only, so meaning to say he doesn't possess any jhana, meaning to say that he doesn't have any psychic. Okay, so what is the correct as a 6 natural power and the 3 insight? Okay, I think we discussed before. So the 6 psychic, one is the divine eye, be able to see the things very far away, and also maybe we can see what happened in the hell, and even maybe we are able to see the bacteria. All right. Okay, so class, do you know that or not? In Buddha time, all the disciples are prohibited by using divine eye to see the worms in the water. They are banned because if you use the divine eye to see the water, I think you can't drink any water because all the water, meaning to say, there's still some living being there. See or not? If uh, uh, compassion is the common value for the Buddhists. If you're able to see the water with full of worms, you are not. You are not daring to drink, right? So this is the reason why Shakyamuni prohibit all the disciple don't use the divine eye to see the water. Okay. Again, this is not our problem because quite hard for us to develop the divine eye. It's their problem because at that time everybody got divine eye. There's just see by divine eye, so you no need to drink. Okay. So divine eye. Second is the divine ear. You're able to hear a lot of the sound, including the music from the heaven. All right. Then the ability to read your mind, then the ability to know the past life. All right. So the finest one is the best one is the ability to what? Ability to eradicate all the defilement. Okay. According to Visuddhimagga class, if you learn psychic, you cannot just learn one only. Why? You see, class, for example, okay, you are here, all right. So you want to cross here, okay. If you got psychic, okay, so meaning to say you are able to fly, you see not? But before you fly, you must have the divine eye and to able to see that is there any mountain, is there anything obstructing your way or not? If there is, you must possess the second psychic, okay, to make it empty. All right. Then, even though you possess the second psychic to make it empty, you have to make sure that once you are landing, no people see you. Yeah. So psychic, you cannot possess one only. You must got a divine eye, and then once you fly, and before you landing, you know no people there. So that's why you can hardly to see people land down in front of your house. You never see that, right? Not. It doesn't happen. You see why? Because the one who got the psychic, they will possess. They have to possess all the power. And sometimes once you fly, some demon they will manifest they will manifest some mountain there. Okay, if let's say the guy is psychic higher than you, okay, they make some obstruction to you, you can't go through. So what can you do? You have to fly upper there or the lower there. This is stated in Visuddhimagga. Recently, I'm teaching the class regarding the psychic. So many people, so crowded, about 30 to 40 people attend the class. They prefer to know. They're so curious, the psychic in Visuddhimagga. So all about this, how they fly, how they use the divine power. Your knowledge should really broaden. Then you understand, you can't, once you got the psychic, you have to got the license also. If you don't have the license, you don't know how to fly. You don't know you have to clear the obstruction. You don't know when to landing. You need the license, right? So that's why just psychic is not enough. You must got the license. Interesting, huh? Okay, huh? Okay, huh? Yes, okay. The terminology. Let me try to clarify for you, huh? Completely liberated arahat. Okay, let me. Completely um, arhat. Liberated by wisdom. right. Yes, liberation by wisdom. Okay. Who is liberated by both way in Ara was completely tried. The one liberated by wisdom, the doesn't obtain. Okay. Pali Canon. Okay, let's see first. Liberated. Okay, class, I feel to get you the terminology lah, huh? So never mind, maybe in future I'm able to get it. Let's see, huh? I can't get the better words for it, huh? Arahan liberated by wisdom. It might be it might be the right words, huh? Wisdom liberated Arahan. Yeah. Okay. So that one, the Agama Sutra, SA, just now is the Susima Sutta. Class, can you add in? That is a Susima Sutta. It's very famous. Okay. Susima Sutta. Susima Sutta is the one who emphasize on wisdom liberated Arahan. Okay. Please jot down. Okay, so the sidekick, well, the translation look a little bit awkward lah. 6 supernatural power. Okay, yes. Okay, class, this is a better word lah, Okay, higher knowledge means abhyana. Okay, psychic abilities, iti vita, clear audience, okay, telepathy, recollection of one own past life, seeing the past life and rebirth of other. I think this is better words, class, compared just now. Yeah, this is better. 6 higher knowledge. This is better. Class, please add in this 6. Yeah. Clear audience, telepathy, recollection of one own past life, seeing the past life and rebirth of other, seeing the past life, recollection, seeing, an extension of a mental intoxicants. Okay. Psychic abilities. Psychic ability. Vita Asota. Mr. Leong, telepathy means reading people's mind. Is this correct, huh? Telepathy, is this correct? Reading people's mind, is this correct? Yes, Elena, telepathy means reading people's mind, is this correct, huh? Telepathy. Oh, vicarious transit. Oh, yeah. Reading people's mind, how is correct. Finish copy? Finish? Okay, I'm not sure, Elena. Play audience. And Jakku and Dipa Jakku. Okay. Okay, class. Number one is the psychic ability. Basically, for those who are able to fly, there is a psychic ability. Okay, so before you fly, you have to use the divine eye to see first. Okay, so divine eye, psychic ability, divine eyes. So that is how we use it, lah. So number one is a psychic ability. If let's say the psychic, which is not included with the other 5 of the psychic, so all will be categorized under the psychic abilities. So class, this wiki is more better. Remember this terminology. Don't follow the way to the Buddhahood. Okay, yes. If you can remember the Pali, even the best, Jakku eye is very good. You see, Jakku mean the eye. You see, English is very long. You see, class. You see, Dipa Jakku, 2 words only. Wow, seeing the past life and the rebirth or other. Yeah, for Mandarin, Su Ming Tong, 3 words only. Oh, I don't know why English make it, the way English is, maybe it's like that lah. Okay. Elena, how about classical English? Is classical English more condensed in a few words? Elena, is classical English better than this modern English? So many words, you see? Don't know, I should ask for I should ask those who really study the Shakespeare language, maybe. Not Elena. Okay, let's continue. That's just 6 natural power. Okay. All right. Next, Sally, please keep on with the power. On the mic, please, Sally.
With the power of magical transformation, one can change into many different shapes and become invisible or visible as one pleases, and penetrate mountains, rivers, and stone walls. One can also travel underwater and underground, fly into the air, reach the moon, the sun, and so forth. With the power of divine eye, one can see things that are caused or refined, near or far, light or darkness, external or internal. In particular, one can see the form of karma of sentient beings, whether they are reborn in the heavens or in the evil destinies and the like. With the power of the divine ear, one can hear all kinds of sound near and or far, understand different human languages, or even comprehend the sounds of heavens, birds, and animals. With the knowledge of other minds, one knows the thought of other sentient beings. With the knowledge about previous existence one knows the previous lives of sentient beings, what kind of karma they have created, and the places from which they have come. With the power to end fault, one knows that the circumstances that liberate beings from afflictions can recognize whether one's own afflictions are completely overcome. Of the 6 supernatural powers, the power to end faults is universally possessed by all arahats, while the remaining 5 depend on the arahat's meditative practices. These 5 powers can be developed not only by Buddhists but also by non-Buddhists. Although it is said that in all the arahats, the 6 supernatural powers are completely unobstructed, arahats with these powers can vary in the scope of what they know, what they can know or see. Only for Buddhas are these powers ultimate.
Okay, thank you so
Although
much. Okay, no mind how. Let me try to finish this, digest this two first. Yeah, class, one thing I would like to remind you that, okay, remember the divine eye is not confined only to see how far the thing or how refined the thing. Divine eye also include to see the karma of the being. Meaning to say, how the karma lead the beings to which to which realm. So this is the power of the divine eye also. So class, always be remember this. So you see, with the knowledge about previous existence, one know the previous life of sentient being, what kind of karma they have created, and the place from which they have come. See, so this type of the psychic is it just like it is included in the divine eye. You see, yeah, yeah. Okay, then of the 6 natural power, this is possessed by all arahant, the power to end thoughts. Meaning to say that this is the power to end thought. Meaning to say is this is asawakaya, the extinction of the mental intoxicants. So this is common share by all the arahant. But the power of arahant depends on their samadhi. If let's say the arahant, the samadhi is not that strong, maybe he is just able to see our 500 of the previous life only. So it depends on their jhana. Okay, because the samatha power, how strong is it? Meaning to say the light can go how many light, you see. But if let's say for Buddha, the power of Buddha is unlimited. It can go as far as no matter how many lives, no matter how many lives Buddha are able to see. Okay, so this is a difference between the Buddha and Arahant. Okay. Yeah, so Elena, I think you quite admire, right? If you got a psychic, you're able to predict how it's a share market, so you can just invest accordingly, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, next, let's see, Okay, Odom, Okay, yes, Elena, your turn.
Although the first 5 of the 6 supernatural powers are common to non-Buddhists, the 3 insights are specifically possessed by arahats. The 3 insights are the insight of power of the divine eye, the insight into previous existences, the insight into the ending of faults. These resemble the 3 powers so named But when the three are possessed by arahats, they are so thorough and ultimate that they are also called insights. These three insights yield clear knowledge of the karmic results of the past, present, and future. Because arahats have such special virtue, they are super pills of good fortunes in the world and are worthy of the respect and offerings of human and divine beings.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, class, take a look at how. These three insights, you see, is the power of the divine eye, insights of the previous existence, and the insight into the ending of thought. The ending of thought, meaning to say, is the extinction of the mental intoxicants. Why these three here, we call it as the insight. But actually, these three also in psychic, right? Not okay, in psychic. So what's the difference? Okay, class, yes, there is a difference. You must be able to see it. If let's say it's an insight, whatever they see is not the concept. But for psychic, what they see is the concept. What does that mean? Okay, if let's say you possess a psychic to check our previous life, so I am able to see, let's say I go to check Sally. So Sally previous life is a monk. Okay, the name Sally Nanda. Okay, something like that. So I check the previous life of Sally. Maybe Sally are from is the Dewa, and the Dewa name is a Kuma. All right. Then I check again the previous life. Maybe Sally is a dog. Okay, and the name is a Lise, something like that. You see, class, all this we call it as a concept. It's a concept. Well, the concept, if let's say I always observe the concept will not lead us to the Nibbana. It won't. But what's the difference with the insight? If let's say I use my insight of the divine eye to check Sally, I am not able to see, the name of the dog, the name of the monk, the name of the Dewa. I am not able to see all this. What I see is all the nama and rupa. That's the difference, Oh, so meaning to say that for the past many life, I saw Sally, all are the nama rupa. So the observation of the nama rupa will lead us to Nibbana, but not the concept. So that's the reason why the perception within the Buddhism is don't spend your time to the unnecessary psychic because it will lead to the Nibbana. Because no matter how far you see, you can name many things, even 100 life of Sally, you are able to know the name, it will lead to the Nibbana. Because why? The reason is the psychic, the ability of psychic just help you to discover more of the concept only. But if it's an insight, so it will lead you to see all the Namarupa for the 100 lives of Sally. So that's the difference. Of course, a class, if let's say you encounter somebody who are so strong in psychic, basically they won't listen to you. Why? Because the psychic people, they will listen to the people who have a stronger psychic than them only. They will listen to them. But once but if let's say they are able to meet the people with the stronger power and say that don't play the psychic, you should divert to the inside That's a different story. But of course, according here, those who are able to use the insight for this trait is only Arahat, not the normal people. So meaning to say that Arhat always doing the Vipassana, even though the Vipassana is already the Vipassana will include the past life, present life, and the future life. So this three type of insight can include everything. So this is the reason why they are more ultimate. So they're worth for being offered by the divine and the human. And we call them, they are very fortunate. I mean, for the world, if they are. Yeah, class, any question? Do you feel happy after reading this type of thing? I don't know why I feel so happy. Or maybe I feel happy by myself only. yeah.
Very interesting and inspiring.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, this all perception I learned from the Chinese classical text, not from the Pali. It's from the Chinese classical text. I met a good teacher, so they tell me the difference. How is it? Okay. Again, no need to worry. I think maybe first Jana don't know how long to attain. Don't worry, you will play the psychic and over-indulge with the psychic. I think it is hard for you. You will indulge because first Jana is still very far away. Okay. Okay, so let us.
Chifu, can I ask a question?
Of course, please. Yeah, please.
For example, like Moggallana, he has got a lot of psychic power. Just now you say that with psychic power we cannot attain nirvana, but how come he become an arahant?
Oh no. Moggallana attained arahantship not through his psychic, but through the vipassana. Because Moggallana later on he met Sariputra and he learned the vipassana skill from Sariputra. And I remember, if according to Nikaya, Sariputra, Moggallana, they don't learn the way as we learn. They just listen to some stanza, then they enlighten already. According to Nikaya, so they explain that they already have possessed a very high samadhi, okay, and maybe just a few sentences already enough to attain nirvana. Okay, so that is the difference. But as according to the sutra, Moggallana, what Mr. Leong raised up, Mr. Leong have raised up a very good question that Moggallana is so profound in psychic, so his psychic is so comprehensive compared with Shariputra. Shariputra are more on wisdom. Like Abhidhamma, they believe that maybe Abhidhamma is somehow inherited by, is somehow related or inherited by the group from Shariputra. Okay, so now we go.
Sifu.
Yes.
Is it because Sariputta listened to the Abhidhamma from Buddha when he returns back to earth for his sustenance of his worldly body?
Yeah, again, sorry, Mr. Leong, again.
I mean, Sariputta was very well versed in Abhidhamma because Buddha from Tawatimsa came down and taught Sariputta the Abhidhamma when he comes back for his what's called worldly body sustenance.
Yeah. Yes, this is the legendary. This is the legend from the Myanmar tradition. It's correct. Okay. But Sariputta is so well versed in Abhidhamma. Not, he himself is the nature. He possessed the trait and the personality for being expert in Abhidhamma. I think because Sariputta, I think he's the one who can analyze things very well and very important. Quite emphasize on systematic. Just like nowadays, the accountant, he possesses this type of a character, so he can do things very well. So from a very how should I put it? The very early form of the Abhidhamma, the way we see, mostly are spread out by Sariputta. So one reason is maybe from Buddha also. Second, his character also is quite good with this type of analysis and also the systematic of the Buddhism. Not like Moggallana. So Moggallana every day just want to fly here and fly there or play the psychic. It's different. Okay. Okay. So
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Since we are so enjoy, so we end the class here. No, because of the verse. Because due to the verses. Okay, so